Welcome back to the College COD Bravo stream. Joining in for this second game is myself, Seymour, alongside Cruising himself. We got Texas State and Oklahoma State, a wonderful matchup between the two. And I'm sure this is going to be a big game to watch out for, Cruz. Let's jump right into this.
Oklahoma State, they just got smacked on Alpha.
Oh, yeah.
They just got beat up on Alpha, and they are absolutely looking for a rebound here. They need it too. We thought this was going to be a game coming in, possibly for a top spot in their division. You have Texas State, who's coming in at number 25 overall in the rankings. Oklahoma State was just on the outside looking in, but I mean, man, that game on Alpha could change a whole lot of people's minds.
Well, let me tell you, you're looking at UTA just taking down Oklahoma State on the Alpha stream. They're going to be 3-3 in split number 2. So they're going to move up the standings. They're going to be in a better area now for the playoffs and looking really hot after seeing what they just did to Oklahoma State. Now, Texas State, they're sitting already up there. They're 3-2. You know, they win this one, going 4-2. They're honestly on the brink of breaking into that safe spot, the green area 4 split 2. And Oklahoma State, they're going to have a troubling matchup against Texas State. It's not like clear cut other than that. This is going to be hard for them. And especially coming off a 3-0 loss, being swept like that, I'm sure their minds are already down. You have to look at them to bounce back early if they want a match against Texas State here.
I think the scariest part going into this might be the map set too going into it. And I mean, speaking of the map, so we can kind of just go over it really quick. It's going to be Moscow hardpoint to start it off, going to raid, search, and destroy for the second, and then we're going to head to checkmate for the control. And then if we end up going the distance, it's going to be Garrison hardpoint and Moscow S&D. I really think we could still see this go the distance, though, even though they got beat up earlier. They just absolutely need to rebound.
And the hard points are that rebound. Like, the hard points are a big map for both of these teams. Texas State, 93% win rate on hard points, and looking at a 2-0 on Moscow right now is hardpoint is their biggest map set. I mean, they're good on the other two, but hardpoint is basically Texas State's to lose. I mean, they have such a good stat line on it. You expect them to take 1 and 4 if we do go the distance. And when you're looking at Oklahoma State, if they can take one of those hard points off, that's going to be a feel-good map. And that's going to be a big game for Oklahoma State to look at, because if they can take one of the hard points, that's Texas's strong suit. And you've already upset them on their best maps. You look at that, and you're feeling good right there. That would be a good bounce back if Oklahoma State could take a hard point.
Yeah, so Texas State coming into this one, like their S&D and their control has not been that great this season. So I think if I'm Texas State or a Texas State fan, you're really looking at them to need to win this first map here. It's like probably a must win, but scarily enough for them, because Oklahoma State just got 3-0'd on Alpha, you would have to think that this is also a must win for Oklahoma State just to get their mindset back into like the right frame of mind for everything today.
I mean, that's a brilliant way to put it. I mean, you're really looking at two key players in my eyes for Oklahoma State, Royal and Dakota. I mean, Dakota is hands down their best hardpoint player. He needs to show up here. And Royal, he was like last game for Alpha Stream against UTA, he was underperforming. So you really need to see him step up for his team right there alongside Dakota. The two of them need to kind of pick up their game if they want to take Texas State on their best map set as well. I mean, you kind of look at the history between the two of them. Texas State and Oklahoma State, they both played UTA already. And since Oklahoma State just played them on the Alpha Stream, I think it's the more relevant. Well, Oklahoma State got 3-0'd by UTA just earlier on the Alpha Stream. Texas State last week, they took UTA to Game 5, where they lost it to UTA, but still that Game 5, that's looking a lot better than a 3-0.
Absolutely. And I mean, if we want to talk a little bit on Texas State too, kind of to counter those two players that you mentioned on the side of Oklahoma State, yes, Royals definitely going to need to pick it up for them. But on the side of Texas State, it's really going to be, in my eyes, it's got to be Draco and it's got to be Rage who are going to turn it up. Rage averaging 126 seconds in the hill time. So that's an absolutely absurd stat. Draco sitting at a 2.14 KD, but we are now loading up into the Moscow search and destroy. And I cannot be more excited, Seymour.
I cannot wait to see these. Oklahoma State need this map. A big bounce back for them for not just the game, but their mentals as well. A player to look at when it does come to the hill time, Cash, 93 average seconds in the hill with a 1.6 KD. You know that he can stand there, soak up time, and slay out of his mind. So my eyes are on him as well for this hard point if you're talking to OBJ. And we're on screen with him. He's rocking a Krig as well, not an SMG player. So Krig, you know, coming into this, might have been more of a flex in the past. You know, that XM4 coming out. Let's see how he kind of opts out with this assault rifle compared to that more dynamic XM4.
Yeah, and we didn't really get even a chance to talk about the meta change before coming into this either. It's been definitely different since the XM4 has come out, and I really think that it comes down to now with having that AR, it's more of a skill gap. You really need to be able to pick up these big gunfights with the Krieg in hand, and just it's a lot tougher to win those close range gunfights. You can't really get bailed out from the XM4 as much. So it's really just going to come down to who's got the better gunfight skills in this one.
Well, Oklahoma State start off with the better spawns, and already the ARs are showing up. Only one kill for either side. Draco opens up on the sides, but pinstriped in the kill feed. Still a contention on Texas State. Break on through. 3 go down to the kill feed. Now it is go time to kind of flip these spawns. Rage is going to be on your screen looking to do exactly that. A pinch from either side. Draco finds one. The collapse comes in. And now a one-on-one for spawns. Royal wins a big one off screen. And Oklahoma State luckily hold on to this. But I say that at number 6. Spawns right on there. So he's going to have another chance for this fight against Royal. Royal not even expecting it. And now spawns could be in favor of Texas State.
Yeah, so that spawn at the top of the bank there, it opened up because player number 6 was pushed out. Because player number 3 was pushed out so far. So Oklahoma State was able to get on in there, but Dakota making a bit of a flank in from behind. He's able to get one, not able to grab the second. So Texas State will continue to spawn up in the back. It's really only Royal here for the side of Oklahoma State that's close to the hill. But so far, so good for Texas State here.
Oklahoma flooding through the middle of the map. Shut down. Big route from Rage here. Gonna have a player in front of him. 1v1. Royal's gonna beam him. Hops right on out. Playing his life. 27 seconds. And I'm sure that if you get wiped here from Oklahoma, you're gonna be looking at point 3. Already rotating, in fact, Cruz.
Yeah, this is really tough, too, because they started off on the right side of the map. They lose majority of P1. Then they lose the spawns for P2. And now we're going to be heading towards P3. This is probably a situation where this is going to be a must-hold for Oklahoma State here.
You want to get all the time here. You already see, look at the mini-map, number 8. Right on the right of Dakota here. I don't know if he's going to expect Draco, but just side by side, this is going to be a crucial gunfight. And I'm not sure Draco's going to expect this. So Dakota is going to put some shots here. The nade to follow it up. The trophy system. Big heads-up play from Draco. So this is key now for Draco to win. But stalling this out, you look at the front line. All of Texas State is wiping the floor with Oklahoma. And this 1v1 doesn't even matter because the rest of your team is just out of commission.
Yeah, it was basically a standoff there in the back of the map, but looks like Texas State are finally going to get their footing here as they still have a player here closest to the hill. Royal able to find the kill onto him, actually makes it a big 2-piece there. So that's going to slow down the push in from the side of Texas State now. And you've got Cash set up here on the little fountainhead glitch. He's able to pick up a couple as well from that spot. And I mean, if you're Oklahoma State, this is a much better hill for you guys. Now you just really have to make your look towards this P4 hill in the bottom of that boulevard. Already have 2 players on the way there. They're winning the gunfights. Yes, Texas State is going to get the scrap time here, but I mean, if you're Oklahoma State, you'll take that every day of the week on that hill.
Of course. And already the intro tactic, looking to break on through from the front, has some help as well from the back line. Is flooding through from all angles right now. Texas State, Cash and Dakota, the only 2 on. First goes down, second. That is the point flipped to Texas now. Now they have to worry about the front line, as the point 2 spawns are going to be where Oklahoma are fighting from. Tactic, a big win on this front. But 2 go down in turn, and now it's Oklahoma's time to try to break on through with this. But you're really only worried about that player in offices. Royal, we're going to hop on through and do some damage.
He was able to find 1, and then he just slips back into gold, just playing his life right now. He knows he's got Jinja inside the hill. And right now, it's just a contest fest, really. This hill has been the entire time. Jinja finally going to fall. So these last 14 seconds should now go the way of Texas State. But if you're Oklahoma, you've been doing a great job so far of rotating over, but you guys are just getting broken early. If they can continue to get these rotations in the way that they have, barring that P2 hill, they've realistically been set up a lot better than Texas State has. Here, Texas State has just done a much better job of breaking onto the hills.
We're on the second rotation of hills, in fact, Cruz, and this is where Texas got majority of their time. I mean, connected from 1 to 2, they got 67 points. So this rotation from Oklahoma to get the initial time, this is going to be big if they can bring this back and tie it. You got to worry about, you got to look, Oklahoma right now, they have spawns in their favor, but you got to win this 1v1 in the back of the map to hold it.
Yeah, this 1v1 in the back of the map you're bringing up, it's off screen right now. That's player number 2 and 6. This is going to be such a huge gunfight here for the side of spawns. Rage falls to Jinja, so he does his job. He's able to get the spawn in at least, but
Oh,
Rage is actually going to spawn up so close, so it's going to be another 1v1 for the hill yet again. I don't think Jinja's ready for him. He is, though. He turns around, able to find a second. We'll see if this influences the spawns. That one surely does. It's a 4-man wipe for Oklahoma State, and maybe they're starting to heat up now.
Cash spawns right on there now. Royal to back them up. You got a full flood from a statue if you're looking at Texas State, and a team that has broken early so many times. Rage is spotted. Royal's going to find the first. Second up is going to be in favor of Texas, so pinstripe right now, but still time in favor of Oklahoma as Dakota wipes it. A pinch from either side. Texas State wipe it again, and a big two-piece now. Jinja's the last one standing here.
They're doing such a great job of just playing all of their angles on entries and just finding every single kill they need in succession and not even losing any of their players on these pushes in. It's absolutely insane how easily they're breaking into these hills on Oklahoma State. And if you're Oklahoma State at this point, you keep falling, you just got to rotate now. These last 20 seconds, free for the side of Texas State. They're able to continue to run up this scoreboard. P1 to P2 has been so huge for Texas State every single time through so far.
Time and time again. Now, this is key. Oklahoma, if they want to pull this back, they have to get time here on P3. They can't let Texas take hold of this game anymore. And I'm looking at Cash here. 6 and 16. He's got an average of 93 seconds in the stat book with a 1.6 KD. Not showing up to his role and really getting shut down early by players like Rage is exactly what we're seeing. So already the break here from Texas State sneaking in. They're worrying about the back line while Rage just solo holds the front line. Jinja does find one, but honestly, this is just Texas State bullying their way through these hard points again and again.
And if you're Oklahoma State here, you need to be able to play this from the front. This is scrap time you cannot afford to give up. If you lose these 30 seconds here, which it looks like they're probably going to do, barring a remarkable play from Dakota, he's able to grab one. So possibly able to keep them off here. Shuts it down just for the smallest bit of time, but he is going to fall. And the side of Texas State now has got the rotation over towards this P4 hill as well. This has got all the makings of Texas State victory right now.
Oh, look at this flank from number 2 tactic. He's going to find Dakota, but he's not ready for this play that snuck in. Jinja has the world in front of them, comes out with one. Playing his life, Draco clears it. So Texas State, like you say, they're in favor of spawns. You're worrying about the front side of the map now as the rest of Oklahoma's. They're going to spawn up on statue. Now they're flooding through streets. Royals made his way into offices. Big one-on-one goes for the shot punch, but loses it. Rage, important kill there. You're only going to have to worry about the front now. Cash touches down. He's going to be spawning out, and the ARs are absolutely shredding now. You're worrying about the side. Jinja here. He loses this one out. Oklahoma, they just get so close to touching down, but it's not enough just yet. Finally, Royal's going to take them off the point. He's going to win a big two-piece. And 20 seconds here. You're looking at who's going to get this time, because if Texas gets the rest of it, they're going to be over the 200-point marker, and you know this is a dangerous 1-2 hill.
That realistically could have been a free 20 seconds for either team, but both teams are going to contest it. Nobody able to fully grab onto that time, and that's probably best case scenario for Oklahoma State there, as they are now set up once again for P1. One thing that I think we do got to keep an eye on as well is a lot of this game has been quite contested, so there is only 1:59 left on that game clock. If this does go the distance to the game clock, right now it does favor Texas State quite heavily as they break on to P1 yet again. They don't want it to go to game clock. They want to win this one. And I mean, if they're able to string these two hills together the way they've been able to all the way through this game, it's not looking great.
I swear that Jinja has been that Kristen. What is that spawn from Texas? Look at point 2. 6 and 5 spawn all the way in the back. You got the pinch from screens. They wipe Oklahoma. Yeah, it was a 3-piece on either side, but Texas getting blessed with it. Now the spawns make a little bit more sense. You got a pinch, or you got a split spawn for either team, and you're making a race for P2.
Both teams just spawned out, and it is literally, like you said, a foot race for P2 here. Texas State still able to grab a little bit of time here on this P1 hill. Finally going to fall. But, I mean, Oklahoma State, they are not in a great here. They need to get this absolute wipe and hold on to this full 60 here if they want a chance to win this game.
Cash loses that. Draco, huge 2-piece. All of Oklahoma fall. And 54 seconds, Texas State primed to take this hard point here. Look at the trek you have to make if you're Oklahoma. You got to flood through the front of the map where Scripps is standing. He finds one. He slows down this attack, but Luckily, you are going to have your Oklahoma player watching right through, spawns right onto the team, flooding on through half wall. 7 seconds. You need to touch this Royal. He's going to stop the clock. He gets two-piece. Oh, but the rest of Oklahoma, are they here to help him out? Royal's doing the job. Dakota tries to help, and Jinja's the last one standing here, shooting nukes with Cash behind him. The flood coming back. 1 second is what Texas State needs. They are going to be flooding this point from all angles. Dakota on his head right now. You're spawning Texas out. They only need one. I'm sure they're going to commit to this, and if not, you still have two players rotating for the rest.
Oh, that's it. No, he wins the gunfight. Oh my God, Oklahoma State was able to spawn up on the hill, get enough reinforcements to win the gunfight, but it does not matter though. Texas State scraps it, full rotates, get them out of here. We said Texas State needs to come out, win this map one with the way the rest of their records look, and they've done absolutely that. They take the 1-0 series lead, and now that's 4 maps in a row Oklahoma State has lost today.
Well, when we really came down to it, we were talking about Texas State, that Hardpoint is their best map, and this is exactly what. I mean, how many times did we see Oklahoma rotate, have the initial spawns, and then just get absolutely bullied off of that point?
Yeah, I mean, like Texas State was just breaking literally every time. Oklahoma State, they would rotate early, set up, lose scrap time, lose your maybe get the initial 5-10, and then lose the spawns, and then lose the next 40 of the hill. That's literally what it felt like every single time.
Well, it's just Texas State was just on point with not just their gun skill, but just their rotations. I mean, working as a core four. Every single time I saw them rotate, they either sent Rage on a full flank, knowing that he's gonna get in behind, or they're pushing as four. I mean, you kind of look back at the push through bank that Draco made with Dakota in the back line holding down those spawns. The fact that he was there keeping Dakota like on a one-on-one standoff, it provided that frontline attack from the rest of the team, knowing that Dakota can't do anything. That main AR is not there. So the full flood came in. They worked as a full three, and with that player contesting spawns, it was absolute chaos when it came to the rest of the team. People were spawning on statue. People were spawning on escalators. It was a race to get back to there. And honestly, it was just chaos in favor of Texas.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. You broke that down beautifully, but Texas State, man, just the breaks every single time. It's really what that fully came down to. I think we can start to look a little bit maybe forward now towards our search and destroy. And this search and destroy is looking pretty good for Texas State as well. Their record on search and destroy going into this is 7-3, but their raid search and destroy 4-0.
Oh, this is a tough task now. You're down 0-4 on the day if you're Oklahoma State. And we keep on talking about bounce back maps. One of these has to be it. I mean, Oklahoma State, I'd say that they're going to be most comfortable on the control when we get there for the first 3 maps. But if you lose out on this raid S&D, you win that checkmate control, then you have to deal with another hard point. That just Texas State, they just look way too good on hard points.
No, I absolutely agree. The scary part for this is we were talking about how that map one was pretty much a must win for Texas State. Now we look towards this map number 2, with Texas State being 4-0 on it. Oklahoma State coming into this one only 0-1 on raid search and destroy, and their only loss was a 6-0 loss to Ottawa Gold. So I mean, yes, best team in the game, but still, that's not a very good loss on a map, and not a very good record on this map in particular. Barring that, though, still a 9-2 search and destroy team. So maybe they have a chance here, but I gotta say this has got to be a must win for them.
Definitely, and I'm still looking at Dakota here. You know, that main AR, he's got he's got the highest stats for the team, and it's there for a reason. I mean, Oklahoma State, they came into the split 2. They had a good start, 4-1. Now 4-2 after that loss to UTA earlier. But you look at Draco, he's got a 2.3 S&D KD. I mean, he had at one point I saw him, he was like 9-9 in that hard point. He was taking a minimal gunfights when it did come to it, but I need to see Draco or Dakota be that rock for Oklahoma State. He has to show up. He has to lead the way. Look for some opening first bloods and allow your team to play off of that.
It's a little bit worrisome, honestly. We saw him playing throughout the first split of the season, and he has had some absurd numbers.
Oh yeah,
But since we've seen him in these last 2 series against top cut teams, he's been very underwhelming for me.
very quiet, I'd say. And it might be because of that 3-0. You know, a 3-0 is they're jarring. It's a shakeup, and pushing into Texas State, a team that's a lot closer on paper in your standings, probably not feeling the best after losing to UTA this morning, but you have to just pull back. It's just something you can't hold your team against. I mean, it's a new game, it's a new set of maps, and it's a new time to kind of pull it back. So I'm really looking at Dakota to lead his team, to pick it up and lead his team in the search and destroy.
Absolutely a bounce back map here for Oklahoma State. They need one badly. What I'm going to be interested to see here is which teams are really fighting for that mid-map control on Raid Search and Destroy to try to make sure that they are able to rotate to whatever bomb site they'd like to on offense or on defense. Really just be able to hold down that middle map, stop the teams from being able to make such easy rotations, really putting a lot of pressure on your opponents for being able to have that quick maneuverability around the map from one side to the other. I feel like the mid-map battle in this map in particular today will really be what tells the tale.
Well, let's see how that offers. First round is going to be underway in a few seconds. We are going to be hopping on with Texas State to lead the way on defense as well. You know, usually on a map like Raid, you do see a 3-1, a 3-2-1 split, or that was too many players. 2 players to the mid, 2 players to B. And that's what we're seeing right now, but a full 4 hit. Royal's going to be leading the way. Had a great game 1. You're already down a player if you're Oklahoma State. Make it 2. Royal's got to go up big, but he is not going to be able to retreat. Caught off by the QBZ. Now, Jinja had a strong game 1, Cruz, but has a mountain ahead of him and is not going to be climbed.
Okay, so here's the thing. When you do a full 4-man push towards that A site, yes, it can work out very well for you. But not when you leave your middle of your map open. You need to have somebody watching it. Otherwise, player number 6, Scripps, is just going to be coming in, running in behind you the entire game. Somebody watch the damn flank or watch middle map in the least there. They just gave a free round away to Texas State to start this one off. I mean, if you're Oklahoma State, man, you don't want to be giving away free rounds right now with how you guys are playing today.
Well, it does look like we're going to see a 4-player hit met with a 4-player hit here. Similar on either side. Let's see if Texas can make a difference. Already 2 in favor of Texas State. But Oklahoma State answers back with one of their own. Kind of tries to even the odds a little bit more. 3-on-2. Both players on Oklahoma State occupying the middle of the map. Cash trying to push in Zed. Not able to find that kill. He's going to back up. Group up with his teammate. Looks like they're allowing the bomb to be planted. And then going to play for a retake. Rage, he's not gonna drop the bomb, Cruz. He's looking for the kills. He does rotate back. Looks like they're gonna be playing for post plants.
Yeah, and like I was saying, you saw the adjustment that Texas State made from what we saw from Oklahoma State in the first round. They had a player inside art watching that zig, so the players on the side of Oklahoma were not able to push on fully through. And now we've got player number 5 set up in the middle of the map, still watching it. They have eyes on the last player. They know he's in the kitchen. It's a 3-on-1. You got to imagine Cash is going to fall very shortly here.
Well, you have a player watching the back. You have a player watching the front. And Tactic, he could see if you rotate it into Bank. Not going to happen. They know exactly where he is. It's about time that they collapse on him. They shut him down, and they take a 2-0 lead.
And Texas State is just right now, they're just getting the picks off quicker and just basically just winning their gunfights. As bad as that sounds to say, but it's really what it's coming down to. They're just winning their one-on-ones, and it's absolutely just giving them the man advantage every round right now. You got to be looking at Tactic, though. 4-0 already on a 4 spree through 2 rounds. We'll see if he can keep it going here off the start of the round on defense. I'd like to see what the breakoff is here. And it's looking like we're going to see a 3-man hit and a player go mid this time for Oklahoma State. But he falls to a wall bang off the bat. 2 go down for Texas State. Scripps looking to try to find the 3rd already through middle of the map. He sees Royal cross back over, so he knows that there's a player still there. Royal now falls to the nade, leaving just 1 here for the side of Oklahoma State. It's Cash once again all by himself. 1v4 makes it a 1v3, but it does not matter. Texas State. Oh, no. This is just not looking good, man.
That middle of the map after Dakota goes down, free real estate for Texas State. I mean, he's a player that I said has to show up, and getting first blooded is just something that you can't have happen. Now you're down 3-0, and this is where you're gonna have to have some fight from Oklahoma State. They can't go down any farther in the search and destroy.
No, they can't. This is a need to win round, but I think we're starting to see the reps on this map coming into play right now for the side of Texas State. Once again, 4-0 coming into this map. And I think we're seeing why. They are fantastic at finding the first bloods as they find another one here in this round. Royal drops first, Finally, though, a trade going to come out from the side of Oklahoma State as Ginger's able to find one, but Scripps is still on the hunt for the cash over towards this black van. Not able to find the kill, though, just blacking up, playing his life a little bit. I think the only thing right now I'd be scared of if I'm an Oklahoma State fan, or sorry, if I'm a Texas fan, is that that bomb is down in a tough spot, but now it's just Ginger all by himself. He's able to find one, so it's going to be a 1v2. He has an idea of where the bomb is. We'll see how the side of Texas State decides to retake this.
You know his QBZ's been on fire.
Oh.
Finds the first, makes it a one-on-one, but are you ready for the flank? It doesn't seem like it. Texas State going to keep the ball rolling. And closest round we've seen from Oklahoma. They were good in the trades, but at the end here, just that split from Draco and his teammate. It's just, Ginger was not expecting it. You definitely expect them to be a little bit closer together, playing from the same angles, but a big flank is going to provide that fourth round.
Yeah, he absolutely was not expecting it. Okay, we kind of got to talk about this really quick, though, Seymour. What two players were we highlighting on the side of Oklahoma State that we said needed to pick it up going into this game?
The Donut Boys, Dakota and Royal, 0-4 each.
Like, what is going on? What is going so wrong with them right now that they can't find anything? Scripps is over here. He finds another first blood. Make that a second blood as well as Tactic finds one as well. And it's just like, Oklahoma State, you're just getting pieced.
And that's Dakota and Royal going down again. Both opting out to an 0-10 standing between the two of them. This is something you can't have happen right in a search and destroy. You're down to cash once again. Did find a kill onto Scripps, so playing for that ace and the clutch 1v3. Art's going to go to him. Draco falls 1-on-2, but look at the players for Texas State, Cruz. Side by side, tethered, bombs down in A steps, and both players playing bedroom and back garage. So Cash not only has to get the bomb, but has to worry about both players playing in his spawn.
And I mean, I think luckily for him, player number 5 has a chance to not spot him on the cross here, but he's planting for the wrong direction. Surely somebody checks it. Tactic comes from mid. The double chow comes out. Easy for Texas State to close that one out there. And I mean, if we're looking into this a little bit more, Cash and Dakota have been the two best players for Oklahoma State all season long in terms of search and destroy stats, and a double donut in map 2.
It's just, it's something that you don't expect from a team like this. A team had such a strong start to the split number 2, falling apart this week. 0-3 first match on Alpha Stream, now down 5-0 on Raid Search and Destroy. Let me tell you, they were actually down 5-0 as well on Moscow Search and Destroy earlier on the Alpha Stream. So definitely not feeling the best on their searches. Dakota now 0-6. You're down to 2, but you have found that trade onto Tactic. You're making a 2v1. Bomb goes down. If you find a first blood here, you even it up, and you might be able to play off of that. Rage. Oh, you gotta get that kill there.
The dip, dive, and dodge out of the way for Rage as he's able to bounce through. They know where this last player is, and he guns him too. Royal, oh no, Texas State 6-0 smack Oklahoma State. And Oklahoma has lost 5 maps in a row today, Seymour.
You have to get that kill onto Rage. I mean, he was just standing still, basically. He was just standing there on beach chair, on the B control point. It's just, you can't let him slip from that. Like I said, you find that first kill, you even it up. It's a 2-on-2. You play off of that, but you just let him slip from your grasp. You don't catch that player pushing through kitchen, and now it's a 1-on-3. And just Oklahoma State, they are not in it today. As like you say, 5 maps lost in a row.
It just seems like they're just not like you said, not in it, but like it just seems like they're not playing together at all. It feels like every gunfight I'm watching them, it's a solo chow, or they're just getting pieced off the map somewhere. It just feels like there's no team camaraderie coming into it. Nobody's playing together. And I just really need to see if Oklahoma State's going to pick this game up. I need to see them come out in their best control map and stomp Texas State in this next map. But from the way this series has gone, I just can't see it happening right now.
Well, like you say, it's their best control map coming right back up. I mean, we're going to head to a break, and hopefully Oklahoma State takes this second to just double back, cool off, gain composure, and come back swinging and start the reverse sweep. But we will wait to see that. We're going to head to a quick break before this checkmate control. Do or die for the Oklahoma State. This is absolutely it for their run for today. I mean, their Monday has been absolutely cataclysmic, and Texas State is looking to give them the second 3-0 of their day. Cruz, this is quite the checkmate control. It's their best map. This is a big swing.
Cataclysmic. That's a word and a half there, Seymour. I will say I was waiting for catastrophic, and then you hit me with that one, and I was just kind of shook me out of my whole thought process I was going to make. But I love it nonetheless. Like you said, Oklahoma State, if they want to be able to pick up this victory here, it's going to have to be in a reverse sweep. They were in this exact same situation earlier on today on the Alpha channel, and they got bopped out of that. They got 3-0 in the control. I don't fully remember what map they played, but now
Raid.
heading
It was
into
raid
they played
control.
Raid. Okay, thank you. Now heading into this one, we're going to a control on checkmate. 5-0 on checkmate control. Must win map for them.
Must win and best map for them as well. I mean, you look at checkmate, it's pretty versatile. You look at the A-B side, it is more defender sided, but there's a chance, in Oklahoma State, it's their best map, so maybe they're a team to look out for in the attacking side, and that's what I'm going to be watching, and especially like always, Royal and Dakota, both on my kind of watch list for the two of them, as they have to step it up. Like, it is. I mean, you had time to regain. I don't know if Royal got a kill, but I know Dakota was 0-6 at the end of that. And if Royal was 0-6 too, they have to pick it up in this checkmate. Maybe go for a quick break on the attack. If you start on defense, quick wipe. No ifs and or buts. You want to trap Texas State.
And control's been one of their best game modes. 10-1 going into today. Obviously, with the loss earlier, I guess that makes them 10-2 now. But if they were feeling unconfident, you got to think, even with confidence at an all-time low, you still have to have quite a bit going into this game mode.
Yeah, you do. I mean, but today, I mean, that 10-1 is now 10-2 after losing to UTA. So you've dropped a map already. You're on a 5-game losing streak. I mean, this first round is going to be it's going to be everything this first round.
Yeah, they need to win this first round. No question about it. I mean, even if they're on offense here, I feel like they need to win this first round, and they are going to be on defense. So
ooh.
Good looks for them. They need a defense off the bat here for sure, Seymour.
Wipe some sweat off your forehead if you're an Oklahoma State fan. We are looking at Texas State, though, a very dangerous respawn team. To start on an attack, you're looking at them to really take control of plane. You're probably looking to A site. You're most likely looking at the A site to be your kind of destination to start off with. You take that A site, take control of plane. The transition from A to B might be a little bit easy.
And I'm going to be so worried if we see Texas State win this first round for the side of Oklahoma State. It would just be worst case scenario for them, absolutely. Trades going down back and forth in the middle of the plane to start this off. As we all know, top plane control on this map is so important. But Tactic already making a huge flank play through, but they know about it. They're sniffing them down. That's player number 8. Royal coming in from behind. He's able to grab one. So there we go. At least able to get the snake out of their back, and now they look to try to push forward on the map a little bit, get some defensive map control.
And only leaving him at 1 kill, 2 in the back of the map. Big shutdown for Oklahoma. You do have some progression on the B site, but Scripps going to have to hop off this. Look to take some players off the respawn. Cash is going to be there. Gets wiped. Scripps with a big rush there. And a big kill as well. 3 go down for Oklahoma State. Texas State's looking to jump on this progression. He's going to have 1/3 of that B site captured, looking for a quick second unless Oklahoma State can step on this and stop the clock. It's going to be 2 ticks of progression here. Finally, the pinch is coming. They jump in the back line, a flurry of kills, but Oklahoma State finally shut down this attack.
And now they need to push on forward. They need to make sure that Texas State is not able to get out of their spawn. But as I say that, Royal drops already, so it's really only player 5. He's the furthest pushed up here for the side of Oklahoma State. He's inside this plane. He's just trying to watch over the middle of it, see if they can pick anything up. And the 2 players inside the plane are going to stand tall for now. But Jinja drops on the outside. It's going to be Draco hopping onto B here, stopping that tick of progression from coming through. And on the top side of the mini-map, you can already see 2 ticks of progress in at A. This is probably worst case scenario for Oklahoma State right now.
A site captured. Now B site close to being captured. You had some progression there, but being decapped from Oklahoma State. They're down 3 lives here. They have to slow down this attack from Texas State, but they're getting nowhere with pushing these spawns. Texas State backed into their corner, but fighting out of it with a life advantage is exactly what you need to do. Now, Tactic occupying the plane through the window. Beautiful shots from Dakota. 2 go down now, looking to kind of pick up the pace for Oklahoma State. If they wipe Scripps here, they might be able to kind of... They're probably going to be looking to take control of their spawns, but Scripps doing a good job at dancing around. Finally goes down, has some follow-up. Oklahoma State clearing Texas finally and doing a good job at making sure that Texas State can't get onto this B site early.
We've seen some crazy holds on this B site in particular very lately in Call of Duty. So if Oklahoma State's able to do it again here, that could be absolutely huge for confidence. Like we said, this round, a must-win round. But if you're looking at Texas now already pushing in through the bottom of the plane, 2 do fall, though. So Oklahoma State continuing to keep this up, but Rage is able to hop onto the hill. Now 2 go down. This tick is going to continue to come on through. Jinja needs to look to see him there. Not going to find the kill. Nobody's going to get close enough. And Texas State, when it didn't look like it was going to be there, still able to find the round on offense. And oh no, if you're Oklahoma State, you got to be worried.
Where are the comms? I mean, Rage wiped that first player. You had to tell Jinja that he's on that spot. Like, that was a big miscommunication from Oklahoma State. It cost them the round. I mean, they had it. They were doing a good job at wiping these players on the attack. And all of a sudden, Rage finds his way through, snakes his way onto the point, and just that miscommunication from Oklahoma State cost that first round, and that is disappointing.
I can't imagine the vibes are very good on the side of Oklahoma State right now. I'm sure they're probably barely talking right now. As bad as that sounds, being 2 very good Call of Duty teams, it's just sometimes you just lose full. And I mean, that the stick off the start is not going to help them either. Pinstripe kill feed going on back and forth, but Oklahoma State already is in a spot where they're pretty much pinched in their spawn. Jinja, furthest player up, gets dropped, but there we go. 2 kills for the side of Oklahoma State as they're able to now at least push out of their spawn a little bit and head in towards this B.
It looks like they are taking their sights to the B side, like you say. You get 3 players on here. You gain quite a bit of time. Mid-map control, it's all the way for Texas State. Looking to drop down, stop the clock on B. Actually, no progression here. They look past Dakota, who picks up this the first kill. Texas State, double down, wipe the side of Oklahoma, and now they're looking to set up camp in their spot, and Rage doing exactly that. QBZ in hand. Oklahoma State just getting wiped, getting spawn trapped here, and Cash, furthest player up on boxes. They know he's trapped on this side. Big win from Dakota for the follow-up. Some good communication from Cash, but the next line of defense is going to be Draco, and he has some cavalry to help him out.
I think one thing we got to notice right here as well is not only is time becoming a factor for the side of Oklahoma State, but also lives are becoming a factor. They're down only 3 now, but they were down 5 at one point, and there it is, another 5-man disadvantage for them. Tactic in the perfect little cubby hole, able to find another one. Nobody on the side of Oklahoma State even able to get close to the hill, and that's going to be a 2-0 lead now for Texas State. OSU, man, pick it up!
Cataclysmic, catastrophic. Open up the thesaurus, pick up any word that is alongside that, because that is Oklahoma State right now. I mean,
it's over. I hate to say it, but the vibes have got to be shot through. This is mega lost full at this point for them.
This is major comeback time. You make a comeback here, I will never count a team out in my life if you make a comeback here, Oklahoma State. OSU. Rush in the middle of the map. Scripsy here, gonna nade out front, do some damage. Plays his life though. Smart play from Scripps, you know, not to be a little bit over aggressive. Dakota wins out on the first one, but see who comes out in the trades for the playing control. It's gonna be so important.
Like you said, this would have to be a monumental comeback for them if they're able to do it here.
That's a nice
and it starts on defense. They're able to pick up a couple here. They have playing control. As I say that, let's scratch that, as Texas State now has playing control. They get a nice 3-man wipe there. And now they look to head on towards this B site, as all the players on the side of Oklahoma State actually at the moment are over towards A. Only one player, it's player number 5. It's going to be Cash. He hops down from the top, able to find Rage on the B site. So now it looks like Texas State try to make their way towards this A site now. Tactic, first player on, watching towards this top of the plane, just trying to see if he can find anything for the side of them. Trades are going to go in their favor for now, but it's only going to leave with player number 2 Scripps on that A site.
Scripps actually gets off of it as well. Just playing it quietly, just on that A corner. Tactics gets wiped down. Oklahoma's connecting some kills and stringing together some good wipes. 4 go down now. 20 seconds. Time is a big factor here for Texas State. We might see Oklahoma State here on pace to take this round. Don't fail me now, guys. Come on, keep it going. Rage is gonna go down. Cash here to stop the clock on B. Royal following up in suit. OSU coming alive here. No time left. They put their first round on. No shutouts.
All right, now if we're gonna talk, all right, now if we're gonna talk a little bit, the one thing I think we got to think about, if we look maybe towards the CDL a little bit, the only time I've ever seen a comeback in in a form like this had to have been Dallas Empire on the New York Subliners earlier in this year. They were able to come back from down 0-2 in the control, 0-2 in the series, and bring it back. Could this be the spark that Oklahoma State needs to come back in this series, Seymour?
Has to be. Has to be. Nothing else than that. Oklahoma State backed into a corner. Let's see if this dog has a bite. Cash flying into it. Has some backup to go down now. And this team, they look alive here. You say they were down in the dumps. Well, now they're here to play. And they do pick up that defensive win. Now attack is going to be an even bigger climb. But definitely can do so. As Texas State, they recoup, regain, and they shut down.
Damn, I was going to say keep an eye on Rage. He was on a 4 streak, but he does fall. But the issue now for for Oklahoma State is you have Texas State completely playing control. You have 3 players up and in it right now. So you're going to have to wipe those players out. Royals in the back of the spot. Gets wallbanged by Tactic there. Insane shots coming through. Dakota's able to find a couple in the back, but they're just not in a great spot right now. Oklahoma State has so much map control.
Now I need to see Oklahoma State kind of dedicate themselves to A side when they get a wipe like that. They're only going to have number 7 there to kind of do the deed and gain this time. They do have a split though. Crossfire is going to be good. Fine too.
4 though.
Rage goes down as well, and like you say, Draco now making his way onto the point. Gets a big 2-piece, stops the clock. Only 1 second progression, and 3 go down for Oklahoma State. You're down to 23 seconds, and time is a big factor.
Yeah, trades going down back and forth here as well. Ooh. And it sounds like streaks are coming in, but that streak may have done more hurt than good for the side of Texas State, though. We'll have to see if they're able to push on up. It does look like it was able to slow down the push of Oklahoma State for the moment, and I think that's all they were really waiting for, as Texas State is able to drop on into this. Dakota stops the time. He's on it right now, but he falls as well. I'm not sure where the contest is coming in at. It's on B, so they have a player on B at the moment. And now they're back on A. Just kills going down back and forth, but it looks like Texas State finally, after an insane round number 4, are able to take the 3-0 sweep. You knew they needed to win an offense there after losing that round 1 defense. And unfortunately for Oklahoma State, it just wasn't their day, Seymour.
It just was too big to deal with, that deficit that they put themselves at. I mean, you saw Dallas Empire do it earlier in the year to New York, but it's
a hard comeback.
They're champions. And that's the 2 different teams, 2 very different teams to compare between Oklahoma State University and Dallas Empire in that standing. Wrong. But Checkmate Control was their best map. They get beat 3-1 on it. They did find a round, but they just didn't look like the same OSU that we did see earlier in the season. The split number 2 might be a little bit dangerous as they push on into it. And I have some theories, like coming into the new meta, a lot of teams are going to be struggling dropping that XM4, and Oklahoma State might just be one of those teams.
That's what I was actually going to bring up to you right at the end of this. I was going to ask you if you think that the XM4 could have just been the crutch for the side of Oklahoma State, and right now it's hurting them very heavily not having it. It seems like that could be very, very possibly what it is. 2 of their AR players, because Dakota for the most part has been running an AR this whole day, right? So possibly was an XM4 player going into this. Obviously, we don't watch all of these teams every single week, so we don't get to see. But there's a very good chance that was the case, and now they're struggling in the new meta at the moment. So if I'm Oklahoma State, we're going to hit that big old regain button, go home this weekend, and just put in a ton of work. You got 2 new maps coming into the split next week. just hit that regain and just bounce back from this hard week of losses.
And I have to say, it's a pretty interesting theory to talk about these teams falling after that XM4 comes out. Going into split two for the CCL, I'm sure that there's going to be a big shakeup for some teams. Just either on the brink of that top 25, maybe just outside the top 25. A lot of these teams, I'm sure, are going to have trouble kind of coming into this new meta, and I can't wait to see the change ups that we do see in the standings, in the leaderboards, in split number two, because